connection between the connecting file between the track members and the Marines in back.
Okay. I mean, you were with the same crew the whole war?
Yeah, it was Corporal Southwick was he was the track commander of that particular track that we were in.
You have a pretty experienced crew?
The driver was a private first class who, like, he didn't have much track time.
Oh, you're saying he didn't have much track, so he was...
Yeah, he didn't have much driving time beforehand, but boy, he got some hours in throughout the war. He drove a lot. Those track drivers were up countless hours during the push.
Okay. There was an incident once, I guess I'm kind of backing up here, before the war, during training, with a track going over a berm or something like that.
Oh yeah, we were on our way to Udari Range, and you know, who were in the back of this track, and Corporal Kelly's sitting across back in the jump seat, which is just the seat nearest the ramp, and Corporal Delfield's sitting in the other jump seat, and I'm pretty sure it was Corporal Delfield. But anyway, I know it was Corporal Kelly that got airborne. We go over this berm, and as we're like midway up this berm or across this berm, it does this teeter-totter effect, and at the same time as like we started to rock forward, the track driver, not being that experienced, he kind of let off the gas when in fact he should have like picked up the pace to keep everybody planted in the back, but he let off, which caused us to seize forward, and at the same time it was kind of at an angle, so it caused the back left side of this track to like come this way. And next thing I remember, Corporal Kelly was sleeping, you know, on his weapon. We always slept on the buttstock of our weapon with the muzzle down, and he wakes up mid-air and has a head-on collision with I believe it was Corporal Delfield on the complete opposite side of the track, and that was one of the funniest things I'd seen before the war.
You kind of break the tension up for you.
Yeah, definitely.
So you just had the Scud launch, or you know, you had word. Did y'all end up moving out that night toward the border, or were you on the border yet?
I know we in the process of staging. There was a couple of times gas was called, and that was a real taboo word to say too, by the way. Anytime someone would, like, because we had so many hours in the gas mask that we were just, we kind of had this in-house rule. Nobody says the word gas unless like it's for real. So it wasn't your gas mask, it was your field protective mask at the time. Like, it was, everyone was scared of the biological threat, you know, and so anyways, we're prepped and ready to go across the border, and it was dark out, and I remember just before we pushed, we had gotten word that a friendly helicopter shot an M1A1 Abrams, and the reason that had happened is because he didn't have his Phoenix light. Well, the Phoenix light is a infrared strobe light that's, you know, on your antenna, so that friendly units know that you're friendly, you know. And I remember everyone heard about that, and at first they're like, "Oh, that's stupid." But yeah, we're gonna put ours on the back here real quick, and I remember like seeing the lawn convoy. You'd see just blinking lights everywhere. Like, it was pretty cool to see, like, you know, 100 vehicles all, you know, in line, you know, strapped with these blinking lights.
I bet you that was a real wake-up call, you know, knowing that friendly forces could be just as dangerous than enemy forces at that time.
Yeah, definitely.
What was your first memory of Iraq? I mean, when did you actually first see the border?
Well, we crossed the border at night, and they said we were going into Safwan. First attack was going to be Safwan Hill. I didn't know what that really meant. Why we were attacking Safwan Hill, I didn't. Like, there was enemy forces there, so we were gonna go take care of them or whatever.
Safwan, I understand that's actually a pretty large hill for Iraq, is it not? Or?
Yeah, it seemed kind of out of place. Like, when I looked at it, I saw it from kind of a distance, but it was just a big hill. Like I understand now, like why it was why they called it Saffron Hill. It was just a big hill, but it was weird because it was all out of place. Like everything else was flat, and then you've got this kind of big hill in the middle of nowhere. But my first memory really was we crossed the border, we got into Iraq, and we stopped our tracks, and they said, all right, we had been up for a long time, so like, all right, we're gonna dig, get out of the tracks, we're gonna dig skirmishers, individual skirmishers, and then get some rest. And I remember like not knowing what I was getting into. I was a little nervous. You're sitting inside this track, you have absolutely no perception of what's outside. So I remember getting out, and my squad leader told me where I was going to be, so I dug fast. I dug my little, it's like a foot deep or something, but I dug that real fast because I didn't know, what kind of contact may happen. So it was like digging for my life, kind of. But anyways, I went to bed, slept with my gas mask either as a pillow or right next to my head, and then when I woke up in the morning, I woke up to the sounds of explosions, and I remember them telling us that like if we get hit by mortars or anything or artillery, that they could have gas or biological weapons in them. So first thing I did is I roll over and I grab my gas mask and I start pulling it out, and then as I'm looking around, everybody else is just sitting around like doing their morning thing, like chilling kind of, and I was like, all right, I put that away, put my gas mask away, and I look around, and here when I got up, I had to get on top of a track to be able to see Saffron Hill, but then I could see the...
I'm sorry, when you said you heard the artillery, you meant it was...
it was outgoing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it was friendly. It was the Marine artillery.
Yeah, we were dropping rounds on Saffron Hill.
And you woke up in the middle of hearing these guns, and you assumed you were taking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't. At that point, I couldn't tell the difference between the sounds of incoming and outgoing. So, at that point, it all sounded the same. So later on down the road, it's pretty easy to tell the difference, but it's one of those sounds that you have to, hear enough to be able to tell.
There's enough experience.
Yeah.
So you said you got on top of the track and you were looking at a...
Yeah, then I could see Saffron Hill because there was like a wall or a berm or something.
It wasn't just a hill; it was actually a fortified.
Yeah, it was like fortified positions were up on that, and there's not much I remember about that, but I do remember like seeing cobras and stuff flying around, and then God, I wish there's so much I don't remember. But I do remember seeing a lot of explosions from us dropping rounds. Then I remember seeing the cobras and stuff flying around the city, shooting Hellfire missiles into some buildings and stuff like that.
Oh, so there was Saffron Hill and then Saffron City. Okay.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? Saffron?
Saffron.
Saffron. Okay. We have about 6 more minutes to tape before we change it out and do, I guess, the part 2. Is there anything, perhaps maybe we may have skipped or left out, or you want to comment on before we move on?
Can't think of anything right offhand. Is there anything that you can think of that we talked about yesterday that I'm leaving out?
No, I think so. Everything so far has been right on the mark. I don't think you left anything out. If so, then we'll just make another tape after we complete OIF1, just to cover up anything that it's been some time since the war, so I'm sure as we go through this, your memory will be refreshed, and we'll definitely try to capture as much of OIF1 from your perspective.
Sure.
Okay, then we'll just stop it here, and then we'll start the next part.
Okay.